entrepreneurs and founders here on the continent how to build the same kind of structure that I'd built from a small business that I had started to becoming a more structured, more systems-driven, and a succession planning business. When I started those master classes, I hosted those classes for 9 hours every time that I hosted. For a whole day, I would spend time. And I could see the desire in the hearts of the founders to say, I've invested 10 years in my business, and I want this to be here 20 years from now. I want it to be here 30 years from now. And I knew there was something more. When I stepped away from House of Tara and basically fulfilled my own transition, handed over to the very first managing director who then took over the company, it became clear that this was the best time to move it further. To move it further. And moving it further meant, how do I now have more time on my hands to take this message beyond House of Tara? I sat down and wrote a book, The Building Beyond You story, the House of Tara story. And the reason why I documented into a book was a way to be able to reach more people. My master classes were small. They were just maybe 12 entrepreneurs in the room. They were effective. They were powerful. I could see the transformation in the businesses of the people that I was engaging with. The question was, how can I scale that? And one way to scale was to document. But documenting was hard. It required me to sit down with some of the stories and situations that I'd experienced as an entrepreneur that were not necessarily pleasurable in my bid to build structure. There were also moments that were full of joy and excitement and praiseworthy in those seasons. To sit down and document was very difficult. And I found a lazy way out, and the lazy way out was to collaborate with another woman. I'm very glad that it was a woman, because obviously I'm a women's champion. I got the chance to meet a lady called Biola Adidiran, brilliant consultant who was very passionate, similarly around the same issues that I was passionate about. The difference between her and myself was I had built something from the scratch. I had real stories to support the principles that she knew can work. We combined our stories together, her principles and my stories, to put together this best-selling book. Biola was disciplined, she was rigid, she was determined to deliver the book, so she struggled with bending me over to make sure that that book came to life. It was hard for her. She created book writing retreats outside of Lagos so that I could concentrate and pay attention. She sat with me, called my team members to remind me of stories that maybe through trauma I had forgotten. Because sometimes when you run a business, for those of you who are entrepreneurs, can be traumatic. And some of those traumatic stories, I didn't want to relive them. But she forced me to relive them. Those were hard moments. And sometimes when I have those situations, I draw back. She doesn't hear from me anymore. I run away. I'm like a snail that just goes back into my shell. But she found a way to keep pushing and pushing. After a while, she gave up. She was like, this woman, she needs some space. So she gave me some space. But I think the space she gave me, there was also the power of timing. The minute I transitioned and handed over to the new managing director, in 6 months, my book was delivered out, because I then had the time to do so. That book, for me, is one of my life's work, and I cannot wait for entrepreneurs around the world to start sharing stories about how their businesses have been transformed on account of that book. To make that possible, I'm looking for partners, Amazon bestseller partners who will, one, buy the book to make sure that in the algorithm, the book comes on top, so that other entrepreneurs who have always thought about how can I build this business to last, they will get the chance to purchase it because the algorithm is convincing them to do the same. So this is my desire for my friends who are here. Those who are not my friend, I'm hoping that after today we'll become besties as well. But thank you all for registering. There are over 4,000 people who registered to be here today from across the world. I am grateful, and I look forward to having an amazing time with you guys. God bless.
Somebody say, international best-selling author. Say, we're going global. No, I beg your pardon. We have gone global. Woo! We're global now. We're global now. Celebrate in Lagos. Celebrate everywhere across the world. Over 600 of us on Zoom. Almost 100 of us on YouTube. Thank you for being here. And what she said is what is going to happen tonight. Before we go into the sale, I would like to recognize the gentleman who ensures she continues to fly steady. When she's flying, he's giving direction. When she's flying, he's compassing. Please celebrate. Fela Duroto, yay! Let the camera be on him. Camera be on him. Camera show him, please. Yeah. Woo! Can I move here now? Fantastic. Why am I coming up here? So that anybody joining and seeing me will see where we are. And I'm like, where are we? Where are we? I'm joining from Thailand, and I'm not sure. This is where we are. The global gathering of entrepreneurs and the book launch, Building Beyond You by Tara Fela Durotoye. We're doing one thing now. Can you guess what it is? Can you guess what it is? Let the screen come on so I can see the people on. What are we about to do? We're about to buy. We're about to purchase the book. The links are dropping on the Zoom link, on the Zoom right now, the Zoom portal. The link is dropping in the chats of YouTube right now. Everyone who has been waiting to get their hand on the book, this is now time to begin buying the book. And I know you very well. You might be copying that link to send to someone else right now to say, hey, fresh off the stove. I'm so glad that TFD, Tara Fela Durotoye, TFD like many of us call her, sets the tone saying the reason it should get to bestseller is not for bestseller's sake. It's so it can be seen, exposed, introduced algorithmically. I like that iconoclastic grammar that I just spoke right now. It can be introduced by the algorithm to those who need to see it. You and I know that sometimes we would not click on something except it's on our feed. And it is when the algorithm has recognized that people are getting on it, then it is exposed to more. So you and I are putting our monies where our hearts are. And we are buying, so we push it to the next level. If you have purchased the book already, or as soon as you purchase the book, please put in the chat, done, D-O-N-E, done, done. You can say done double. You can say done triple. And if you have forwarded to someone else, please say forwarded. I would like to see the chat if you don't mind. I would really like to see the chat. What's happening in the chat? Before I welcome our next speaker who will tell us a little bit more about the journey of writing the book. Can I see the chat? Fantastic. Oh yes, I'm seeing done, done, done and forwarded, done double, bought it since. Please, where is the link? Drop the link again, drop the link. Let the link be put in the chat every other second. Drop the link, drop it again. We are active, done. How do we get the hard copy? In Nigeria, the link is going to be dropped right now. You see it's an RH link. Let that link be dropped. Link to buy on Amazon, drop. Link to buy hard copy in Nigeria, drop. I'm seeing done triple. I'm seeing done times 12. Hey, that's the energy. Drop it. We want to see the Amazon link. We want to see the RH link. African businesses need the right playbook. No doubt this book is one. Yes. Done previously 15. Yay! Come on. Guess what? Done previously 15. Oluwatosin. Can I tell you to do it again? Do it again and again and again. Valor Peter says doing it again and again. I want to see the RH link drop. I haven't seen the RH link drop, the Roving Heights link. For those who have asked to buy here in Nigeria immediately, please drop it so that during the week they get their copies. Somebody said forwarded times 20. Thank you so much, Akpewe. Done previously, we love you, man. Doing it again, Damola says. Done. I see a number of dones. For those in Nigeria, the link is coming on right now. Right now. That link, I command you. No, come on now. Come on now. Forwarded. Those who are outside Nigeria, everywhere else, the link to Amazon is being dropped again. Done in the UK by Bookie. Jesu Tofumi says forwarded to Germany. Oh, fantastic. Doing it again. Done ebook previously. Doing. And we continue. Link to buy RV is dropping now. Someone else has copied and dropped it there. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Done. We're seeing more dons. We are seeing more dons. Now, while the sales continue, I'd like to welcome a woman who would speak to us a little bit about the journey of writing the book. Why? Some of us are in the moment of staring, and we want to understand how TFD, how Tara Fella Durotoye got here so that we can be inspired to replicate. Sometimes all you need to know is somebody else's story, and it's easy to recreate your own story. The speaker tonight is a feminine leadership coach. She's the leader of the Iconic Woman movement. She's a leadership coach per excellence. Yes, she focuses on women, but her leadership principles transcend gender. And today, I'm not sure where she's joining us from, if it's Nigeria or where else, she will tell us. Please welcome the iconic woman, Ekene Onu, as she joins us on screen. Leader of the Iconic Womanhood Tribe. Good evening, ma'am. Can you hear us clearly?
Yes, I can. Good evening. Good evening, global entrepreneurs. Good evening. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here because today we are here because of the one and only Tara Fella Durotoye, our convener and the latest best-selling author on the blog. Can you guys celebrate her one more time? Because this isn't just a book launch, even though that would be enough, because to birth a book is no easy feat. But today, Tara is not just birthing a book. She's birthing a movement that includes all of us. So in a sense, Tara, it's your book, but it is our book. It is our book, that's why we're buying it. It's our book, that's why we're forwarding it. It's our book, that's why we're going to celebrate as it continues to hit best-selling book, best-selling book, best-selling book. All the different awards you're going to get. It's extraordinary. I'm so incredibly excited. I've been reading this book since I got it. And I tell you, it's a game changer. So let me tell you what I know, because I've had the pleasure of knowing Tara, not just as a public person, but as a private person. I'm excited because today we are looking at something that was birthed 28 years ago when she had the idea to build House of Tara. It was birthed in Lagos, Nigeria, and it is still standing today. This business, this idea, this concept. And you know, I live in the US and I go back and forth to different places, but they used to say this, and I think that this book is going to change everything. They used to say that if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. But the truth is, if you can make it in Nigeria, somebody says, tell me something. If you can build a business in Nigeria, a successful business in Nigeria, you can make it anywhere. And so I'm really excited because the business lessons that you will learn today and in this book are extraordinary and impactful for any business owner anywhere in the world. I think it's time for the African icons to rise. Because, you know, I specialize in icons. In my businesses, Iconic Womanhood and the new Iconic Advisory, we have mastered the art of recognizing and cultivating icons. And based on that, on my unique expertise, I'm here to tell you that this is an iconic experience convened by a true icon. And like I said, I'm not just saying that because she's a dear friend, but because she's a woman that I have watched. I've watched her business grow. I have seen her operate professionally and personally, and I'm going to share with you some of the lessons and the behind the scenes as she built this book. I'm going to take you on a brief journey to whet your appetite about what you're about to experience as you read this book. In chapter 2 of Building Beyond You, Tara talks about the role of vision. The vision for this book, this movement, and this moment, actually, it started with a small idea to make brides more beautiful. She had this vision, but she had to cast it because at that time, we weren't thinking about that. I want to talk to you about casting a vision because today she's also casting a new vision. A vision to see generational businesses outlive the founder in Africa and beyond. How does one cast a vision? by defining and clearly defining a compelling future. I mean, think about what could be possible for you, your business, my business. Think about generations after us eating from this. I'm thinking about my great-grandchildren looking up and saying, one day, back in the day, in the 2000s, back in the Stone Ages, my grandmother, my great-grandmother built Iconic Womanhood, and because of that today, I want you to just see that for yourself. That's the vision that Tara is casting today. That's the vision she casted when she started thinking about writing this book. In order to cast a vision, you have to define a compelling future. You have to paint a picture. I remember sitting with her and she was thinking about all of you, because she wasn't just thinking, I want to write a book and I want to write a best-selling book. She was thinking about the people that she was going to impact and the needs that you had. She talked often about
We'll hold on just a moment. We know Iconic Woman Ekene Onu is going to join us right back, and she's begun to cast the vision. But while she's coming back, the link to buy the book on Amazon is still in the chat and is being dropped. The RH link for Roving Heights for the hard copies in Nigeria is also being dropped. But for all of us from across the world, from everywhere else, please use the Amazon link. Remember, the vision for tonight, in addition to getting a copy for each and every one of us, is to get it into the hands of hundreds and thousands of others. I dare say hundreds of thousands of others, and to make bestseller on Amazon in every category that we come up. Everywhere Building Beyond You shows up, we want to see it as a bestseller. I see Ekene is back. Ekene is back. Okay. And I'm welcoming her back to stay. Yes, over to you, ma'am.
Okay, great. I'm so sorry, but c'est la vie. We continue, right? And I was saying before I got cut off, rudely, but it won't happen again. In Jesus' name, somebody say amen. That I sat with Tara many times as she pondered about this book. And I really want to say something. I saw her bring forth Hebrews 11:3 that says the things that are seen are created by the things that are not seen. She created this book in her mind, and she created this movement in her spirit. Over and over again, she kept thinking about all of you. And I think all the great missions, all the great things, all the great businesses are created with people in mind. People that have problems and you're thinking about the solution to that problem. She saw something that kept happening over and over again, and she purposed within herself to be part of the solution. Each of us was created to be part of a solution. And so this is another example of it today. Not only did she say, let's just launch the book, she said, I want to do a global gathering of entrepreneurs so that they can be equipped, empowered, and activated, that at the end of this experience, you do not leave the same. Everything is about transformation. Can you just see the thread? The thread was, I'm just going to make brides even more beautiful, right? I see that they're doing something, but I want to take it to the next level. And now I'm bringing this and I want to take it to the next level. So you see the thread over and over again as you read the book. Another thing that I noticed in the book that I saw in her writing process was the spirit of collaboration. When you read the book, at the very beginning of the book, and she's telling the story about how she started House of Tara and how she wanted to cast this vision about making brides more beautiful, she said that she had to collaborate with T.Y. Bello, who's one of our another icon, right, in the photography space. She collaborated with T.Y. in order to create Tara Makeovers. And if you see it now, here we are again. She collaborated with Biola in order to write this book. The spirit, you see the thread. We collaborate, we don't compete, we connect, we grow in community. No man is an island. Consistently, you see the thread showing up over and over again. That is one of the powerful lessons, not only from the book, but in the way she has built her business and the way she shows up. And in this new season of being an iconic woman, she draws on community. And I have to take this opportunity to share a story about how she has also done that for me. I've done things in Lagos before, but I wanted to do something a little bigger than I had done in the past. And I made the fatal error of telling Tara about my idea. Tara took this idea and said, let's go bigger. Go bigger. She pushed me. She expanded me. She opened up her Rolodex. And some of you don't know what that means if you're a millennial, Jen. Basically her network of people. She made calls on my behalf. She stood in the gap for me prayerfully. She stood with me day to day to day until that thing went from in my mind, in my spirit, into actually coming to pass. And we had 150 women experiencing iconic womanhood for the first time in Lagos. And that was a trajectory changing moment, actually. And she poured herself into us, as she has done for so many people, because she is about community. You do not build a business and a movement alone. And so I encourage you, even as you're here, she has opened up her space to bring you in. Don't leave here without knowing at least one more person. I also want to talk to you about the fact that she held the vision for 7 years. She said it took her 7 years to write the book. I was thinking about that. What does it take to hold a vision for 7 whole years? Some of us, after 7 months, you've given up on the vision. You've put it aside. You're like, it's never going to come to pass. But she held the vision. She kept holding the vision. And it's really interesting that 7 is the number of completion and perfection in the Bible. I want somebody to stay with me and pray with me that, that vision that you've put on the shelf, that vision that's gathering dust, go right now in your mind, collect it, bring it back and say, Lord, perfect it and complete it right now in Jesus' name. It will come to pass just as it has come to pass for Tara. I don't know about you, but me, I've already prayed the vision. So some things are coming to pass. Some things are coming to pass. So I hope you've connected with a couple of things already. You've connected with collaboration. You've connected with holding vision. You've connected with community. I want to talk to you again about some other things that I've seen, and we're going to get to the end of it really quickly. The cocoa of the matter is structure. Structure. Tara is the queen of structure. Passion without structure can lead to frustration. I hope you're not a frustrated entrepreneur right now, because you might be going with your passion, but you're not seeing the profits, and you're thinking it's because your business is not going to work. As somebody who started her business as a hobby and then it became a hustle, it's only when I allowed some structure to come in that it became an actual business. I understand where you are, and I'm telling you, key into structure. If you haven't gotten the book, go get the book. Don't just get the book to get it. Better read it, because there's some gems in there. Structure will change the game. The book shows you how you blend the creative with the practical, the feminine with the masculine, the soft with the hard. Structure frames your genius. Structure gives you freedom. Structure will let you expand. And like I said before, Tara is the queen of structure. And this book is a living, breathing MBA. Almost every chapter is like a case study on who, what, where, what it takes to succeed. And so I really want to encourage you. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Make sure you stay to the end. Make sure you take all the lessons. And before I finally close, I have to get to the core of the core. When you read the book, you will see it. When you talk to Tara, you will see it. You will feel it. The core of the core is faith in God. Tara has divine audacity. Divine audacity. She's truly a small girl with a big God. Her faith allows her to rise, shine, for her light has come. The things that I have seen when I'm in her space, and I just say, wow. Don't try this, her God. Don't try the God of TFD. God shows up because she shows up in faith. Faith to reach for more, and I pray that all of us have it. Faith to be unapologetic about owning the gifts and talents that God has given to all of us. Faith that keeps her grounded should keep us grounded. Faith that roots us. We need to abide in God. And at the end of the day, that is the lesson. I think she would agree with me that that's the key lesson that you must take and hold on to. that you too can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So please join me and celebrate Tara as she steps fully into her next season as the author extraordinaire and founder of this new movement. God bless you, Tara. I love you.
God bless you too, Ekene. We love you. Tara says, I love you. If you couldn't hear her, you hear my voice. I love you on behalf of Tara. Everyone in Lagos, are we having a great time? Are we buying the book? Those of us across the world, are we buying? Put it in the chat. Say yes, 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 yes. And please say T. Say thank you, Ekene. If you can't write all of that, write T-Y, Ekene. It means thank you, Ekene. Thank you for the charge, for the highlights of the strong points in writing the book. The book sales are going on in the chats. But we'd like to show you a very short clip before I bring Ijoma up. Immediately after this clip, Ijoma is going to take it to the next level. Ijoma, give me peace. Give me peace. Peace sign, peace sign, peace sign. Yeah, baby, I see you. On Thursday, we were gathered right here in Lagos, Nigeria, to gather partners for taking this book to the campuses, campus tours, because part of the heartbeat of Tara Fela Durotoye for this book is to ensure that the book is in the hands of campuspreneurs. She was a campuspreneur. She started her business whilst on campus. And imagine if she knew a lot about structure from that time. So how many young men and women are starting businesses on campus? How can we help them? So we raised partners, and I mean partners came from all over the world to join the movement for campus tours to take Building Beyond You to campuses. Take a look at what happened here on Thursday. And after that, Ijoma, over to you. Let's see the video, please. Why are we gathered today? I would welcome the author to tell us about that, but what I will tell you is my personal understanding of why I am here. I am here, and I'm hoping you're here with me for the same reason. I am here because there is a young man, there is a young woman somewhere on campus across Nigeria, across Africa and beyond, who has an idea for business but needs guidance. And I'm here to say, I may not know you yet, but I'm going to try and reach you. And so when I see someone else who is doing something for the whole of Nigeria, I plug in and send my goodwill and my money on errand. That's why I'm here. I've called you all here for one reason. I'm sure everybody has heard that I've written a book. It took me 7 years. But if you know me well, you know that I like to do things that mean. If it is just a book, then it's not as inspiring. But if it has a bigger vision, then you can get my blood pumping. The vision is to take the message of Building Beyond You to campuses. And for me, it was also because that's where I started. Because it all counts.
Building Beyond You, I'm so glad I was here today. I haven't read the book yet, but I already have insights as to what to expect. It's a very important topic because there's so many businesses that they don't outlive many years, not talk of the founder. And so the message that Tara is, bringing to us here, I think it's really important. I'm going to dig into it because I'm sure there are many lessons I can learn. I've seen how House of Tara has grown over time, and it's because of the structures that have been put in place. And so really, this is an important message. Looking forward to it. I think everyone should get the book because, from those that have read it, from the excerpts that were read today, from the conversations had, it's definitely a great book to read. So get your copy.
Okay, well, hello everybody. If you're still here, let me see you in the chat. Let me see and feel the energy. I see you, Ali, waving. Hello everybody. Are you having fun? Just let me know. Are you having fun? Are you having fun? Yes, we are here. Olubukola, Shaun. I see Caroline. CP. Yay. Good to see you. Hello, everybody. Hi, Demilade. Excuse you, please. Hello. Hold on. Please, we have the second born son in this virtual space. You remember when TFD decided to eulogize the firstborn son? Yes. Let's please welcome and receive Demilade Fela Durotoye. Hey, thank you for the smiles. Thank you, everybody. Welcome. We're so glad to have you. Thank you for the smiles, Chido. You've been up, moving your body. I love that energy. I love it. Hi, Bami. Good to see you again. Hello, everybody. Fantastic. I love the energy. Yes. Hi, Dems. Everyone is greeting you, Demilade. So this is wonderful. We've heard about the story behind the book, the patience, the discipline, the faith. Imagine writing a book for 7 years. I mean, one of the trips was actually in the UK, and I went to see her. I was like, whoa, this book, for it to have taken this long, it means that God has something in that book. So, yeah, and I see all the collaborations in the space, in the chat. Keep it coming. Some people are already sending themselves DMs on how they're going to take it from here. This is what we love about this. So welcome, everybody, and I hope you're feeling the energy, and I hope you're buying. I hope you're doing the needful, and I hope you're getting your friends and your neighbors, and even those that you don't consider friends. Yes. Now we're going to be moving very quickly and swiftly from the story behind the book to the wisdom in the book. And to do that, for starters, we're going to have two people do that for us. First off, we're going to have our number one collaborator, the amazing Abiola Dederon, who we know as a special and fantastic wealth performance coach. And then afterwards, we're going to have the author, no, not the author, best-selling author herself already, because we're already, I love how Mogolo is smiling. Yes, it is best-selling author. We're not doing, it's not, we are global already. It's not, are we going global? No, it's not, are we? We are already, full stop. Yes, period. So if you're global, please put it in the chat. We are global, we are global, we are global. I need the energy before I bring up the fabulous, fantastic collaborator who did not allow TMD to rest at all. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, where are you? I thought I saw her a moment ago. Man. Hey.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you. The first time I listened to her was also during the conference. So guys, pick up your paper and pen. Even though you're buying book, collect wisdom. That's what I will tell you, for free. You are in a space where you're collecting wisdom for free. Right? If you're paying for the private coaching session, you know how it's going to be now. So I'm just telling you, get your paper and pen ready. Let's go. Over to you, ma'am, Abiola Adediran.
Thank you so much. Good evening from Lagos, Nigeria to the rest of the world. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. We thought about this day 7 years ago when we started this journey, and it's such a beautiful thing that we're all here witnessing this book become something that has become a reality. And I love the fact that everybody from every part of the world, they're already getting the vibe, they're getting the book, and of course the energy is flowing. And of course I can see, the impact that this book is going to create around the world. Now, there are many lessons in this book. Honestly, I struggled with which one should I share, because there's just a lot. If you flip through every page of this book, it is filled with lessons, practical lessons that can impact your business, no matter what level you are in business, whether you're just starting out or you've been building for years, or you're at the point of transition, and you're wondering, how do I pass it on to the next person? You're trying to figure out succession planning for your business. You know what? This book is a compendium of knowledge. There is no point you are in your business that you will not find answers in this book. So you're not reading this book and you're just reading stories. You're reading and you're also learning, you're drawing insights that you can apply for your own business. So it's such an amazing book. And honestly, because I've contributed to it, I don't even know which part of this book that I should highlight, because every part is important, right? But I chose one part because I think that is the part that resonates more with me based on the work that I do now. And based on what I also think that a lot of entrepreneurs rarely focus attention on. And I'm going to speak specifically about the power of diversification. We've been talking about structure, but sometimes we forget that for you to be able to build a business that is sustainable, you have to think of building something that is really solid, that allows you to be able to build a portfolio, as it were, leveraging your business as a vehicle for wealth creation. If you speak to Tara Fela-Durotoye, the reason she's able to step back from House of Tara today is because she's been able to build a wealth portfolio outside of House of Tara. I want you to write that down. If you are not able to build a wealth portfolio outside of your immediate business, you will struggle with letting go. Because what that then means is that you're not able to find purpose in other things that you are able to do, and neither are you able to sustain yourself outside of that business. Many of us today are drawing salaries from our business because we are working in those businesses. The day you step out of that business and you're no longer an employee of that business, you're no longer entitled to salary. The only thing you're entitled to is dividend. And I know that many of us may not even get to that point yet where we're paying ourselves dividend. But guess what? That is what structuring your business really is about, to be able to build something that is truly profitable, truly, structurally sound, and then you are able to leverage it for wealth creation. And that is the angle that I'm going to bring from this book today, because interestingly, Tara Adrotoye is somebody that surrounded herself with wisdom. And I think you need to take that from this book. She surrounded herself with coaches, with mentors, with wisdom that helped her along the journey. She made her mistake, but the mistakes never really, affected her business because she had wisdom to quickly hold her hand to be able to take the right steps where necessary. And one of the wisdom that she had was where she had a conversation with her mentor. And this is from the chapter on managing finances, right? Now, in that particular chapter, she had spoken to a mentor on the need to expand House of Tara, right? In terms of, buying more stocks and just generally expanding the business. And she needed to take a loan, right? So having, had that exchange with her mentor, a mentor, agreed to speak on her behalf to the CEO of Guaranty Trust Bank, the late Tayo Aderinoko at the time. So she had put in a word to say, I will send this young lady to you. I think she's running a fantastic business. Just listen to her and let's see, what you can do. And of course, she, prepared herself, did her script, and, got herself ready, and she had that meeting. I think for me, what was important in the exchange was the fact that there was preparation. She had been building a business all along that she could now position before a bank, and that was credit worthy for a bank to be able to say, we will give you a loan. And indeed, after the whole interaction with the CEO at the time, the loan was granted. She took the loan and she paid back the loan. She paid back the loan. Now, there are many lessons in that. There is integrity, there is credit worthiness, which you don't stumble on. You have to be very intentional about building a business that is credit worthy, that financiers will see as a credible business to partner with, to invest in. I think that is fundamental for me. But more importantly, remember I said I'm drawing the power of diversification from her story. And this is from the advice that the CEO gave her. Now, I think a year after she had paid the loan, and she met the CEO at another event. And I'm going to read the particular advice that he gave her. This is on page 134. He said, I had no doubt that you would repay the loan, but I have a piece of advice for you. I need you to diversify your investments. I know your business is important, but you need to have personal assets outside of House of Tara. For example, invest in real estate early when a new area is just opening up. Build a culture of always putting money aside for investment. Now, because I'm a wealth coach, I relate so much with this because this is work that I'm also doing with entrepreneurs. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs fall into the trap of putting all their eggs in one basket, right? So the problem then is that you are not able to detach yourself from that business because everything you have in life, if they take you up, bring you down, that is all that you have. So the idea of succession planning, you can't even think about it because everything that you are, everything that you have is in that business. And so it's important for you to be able to build a business that is not only just structurally sound in terms of operations, but it's also financially sound. There is the place of financial structure in your business. That is what enables you to really be able to pass on the baton without necessarily feeling the need to go back and collect the baton. Do you see? So for me, that is another angle that I want us to draw out of this book. Building a business that can outlive you, but building a business that you can move away from, continues to run, operationally sound, but guess what? You are able to even grow your wealth portfolio bigger outside of that business. Your business should be a wealth creating machine or a wealth creation machine, whatever you call it, or engine. Do you see? And I think for me, that is one lesson that I want us to key into. Go and read that chapter on managing finances, but read it beyond just bookkeeping. That chapter is not just about bookkeeping. It's not just about doing your account. It's not just about, preparing your business for investors only. It's about many other things that your business can possibly become outside of what it already is right now. I think that is one lesson that really stood out for me, that I feel like even in the quest for building a business that is structured, many entrepreneurs forget, because that business is all that we've got. So I want you to leave this session today, this virtual lunch, with a determination, giving yourself permission to build something that you can literally say you're stepping away from, because you are also financially buoyant to step aside. Many businesses, business founders, as much as they would love to step aside and hand over the baton, today they can't do it because there is nothing else to fall back on. So you must build with determination. You must build with intentionality that allows you to be able to build something that is formidable and stand structurally sound on its own, but also allows you to be able to repurpose your wealth into other asset classes. So at the end of the day, you have a wealth portfolio of which your business is just one asset class. So I want you here, man, woman, everyone, business founder, living here with a determination to build a business that is truly beyond you, right? Such that you are bigger. Your wealth portfolio is bigger. So envision your business bigger than you. So you're just a tiny fraction of whatever it is you want to contribute to that business, but you are intentionally building so that you can one day step aside. But you're not just stepping aside to zero. You're stepping aside to bigger and better. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for having me. God bless. Back to you, Ijoma.
Oh, thank you for pushing. Thank you for being an inspiration. Thank you for your consistency and your discipline. And here we are. The book is on the shelf. So thank you very, very much. I'd like to quickly thank the audience here in Lagos. I'm blowing you all kisses for being our support here. I can see my friends from Dublin, one of my very first brides, who now lives in Dublin, Bimpe Shonguwawa, is here on the call as well. Those are the people that remind me of my small beginnings. Thank you for being here to support. So I want to talk a little bit, just share one lesson from the book, and then we'll move on to reflections by those who reviewed the book. We have somebody from Jordan who's going to share hers, and one person from South Africa who's also going to share hers, and then one person from Argentina, and then we'll have the Africa-renowned Vusi on the call as well. Can we give him a round of applause for joining us? He's the one who wrote the beautiful Afterword. The Afterword is a book in itself. You have to get it to see it. Very rich, and I would like to hear from him as well. So I think I want to quickly go to chapter 6. The chapter 6 of the book talks about the people part of structure. It is the chapter that has the highest number of pages because it is the chapter that is closest to my heart. Abiola has talked about money because that's her thing, right? I will talk about people because people is my thing. House of Tara taught me so many things. Taught me about leadership, taught me about self-awareness, taught me about humans, and many of the things I share in that chapter about my experiences in building people. I think one of the greatest things in that chapter is my focus on raising leaders. And many of us, when we think about building our businesses as small business owners, we think about our customers, we think about retaining our customers, we think about increasing the number of customers that we have. But in doing so, sometimes we can often forget that the number one customers are the people who then are carriers of the vision. There's a lot of talk about succession, about my long-term succession plan. But succession didn't start when I transitioned the business. Succession started when I insisted at every level of the business there had to be a successor. So Tara was not the only one chasing for a successor. Everyone who was in one role or the other had to have a successor. I don't want to leave too much out of the bag, but there was a statement I made, and I said, oftentimes, my husband is here directing to make sure that I'm looking at the camera. Sorry, guys. I keep looking at my children's faces instead of looking at the camera. I like seeing them. And one of the things I often say, and I said it in that chapter, is that it's one of the things that embarrasses a leader at House of Tara is when you ask them, if you are not here, will find someone within the business that can handle your role. We made it such a big deal that you will be embarrassed if you said there will be no one. You'll be ashamed of yourself. Why? Because what the culture was saying was, it is important that every single role that exists here, if you're not here, somebody else can also run it. And I started with leadership. I started with myself. And there's also a story about how I was asked by a mentor. I was on a mentoring program in the US. And the mentor asked me, all the things you've learned on this mentoring program, when you get back to Nigeria, tell me, what do you think is going to stop you from achieving your vision? And I said, me. And she was shocked that I would first of all admit that I could be the block in actualizing my vision. And oftentimes as founders and entrepreneurs, we're always looking outside of where the problems are, as opposed to looking inwards to see what we do to stand in the way of our vision. So one of the things I decided to do to commit was to lead by example. And leading by example meant I needed to let go of many things. Delegation became a part of my lifestyle. When people came to me to ask, oh, what decision should we take? I decided to move from founder-led decision to system-led decision. If you want to learn more about system-led decisions, go and buy the book. Clock it. I also tell the story around how there were times where in my decision to delegate, I made some mistakes. And I tell the story about how there was a time where there was what you call like a staff downing tools. And staff downing tools meant all the stores across Nigeria, in one day, staff decided they were not working. And even though I was someone who was very passionate about people, I was focused on developing people, I was personally hurt by the fact that House of Tara staff members could actually quit on me. And I talk about how I don't normally cry, but that particular day, I wept my eyes out. But as a lifelong learner, one of the things I had studied, I'd studied Walt Disney. Walt Disney was similar to me in terms of building a company that was people-centric. But he has actually had a similar story where his staff members joined a union. He was shocked that he joined that union. The demands from the union were things that he didn't expect because he felt he had given his heart and his soul to the people who he was leading. When his daughter was relaying the story, she said, my father forgave, but he never forgot. This was one of those moments that I didn't want to replay on my journey in writing the book. But it was a true story of how, no matter how you feel you're committed to people, there are times where you feel hurt by the things that they do, especially for those of us who are founders who carry our hearts on our sleeves. But when somebody asks me, will I still run House of Tara the same way with the passion for people that I did before? My answer will be yes, yes, yes. Because oftentimes you don't always reap where you sow, but you always reap what you sow. Thank you very much. Go on Amazon and get the book so you can learn more from my lessons. Thank you.
Fantastic. Can we take a moment and appreciate our best-selling author, everybody in the chat? Hello, even in the hall. Can I hear you put your virtual hand together? If you're in the hall, your hands together for TFB, best-selling author, and also for the incredible, amazing, fantastic, fabulous, yes, world performance coach Abiola Adedio. I love her smile, I love her glasses, I love the way she delivers all the time. And please, very quickly, let me see what you took away from those stories. Yes, the lessons, 1 or 2 lessons. In fact, I wrote some things down. I told you, wisdom is profitable to direct. Bring out your pen and paper to write something. So can I just see in the chat? Wow, lovely to have you, Ma, Udo, Konjo. Yes, who else am I recognizing in this place? Lady Wumi, good to have you all the way from Abu Dhabi. Yes, 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 Eugenia Marcos, fantastic. Please, can I have in the chat, what did you take away? I had so many things. Diversify, period. I mean, diversification, yes, she has believed the story. That is so true. Being a lifelong learner, Oyin says, okay. Esther says you don't always reap where you sow. And I love that TFB did not give away everything, so that you just go and click on the link and buy. Remember, the goal is that we're already global. It is already a best-selling book. But now you have to do the work. Yes, structure, delegate, build systems. Go and acquire assets so that when you leave, you're not feeling like you're leaving anything. People matter. If you're close to TFB, you always hear about people. Forgive, but don't forget the lessons. Yes, I heard that one clearly. Fantastic. Okay, who is ready to click on the link and go and buy? Because a lot of us are asking, where can I buy? Can I have the link in the chat very quickly? Yes, let's click on that link, on the Amazon link, on the link for the hard copy if you're in Nigeria. Yes, Asinika, Divine Audacity, best-selling in Canada. Yes, you're not playing. Oh, we are not playing. So can I have the link in the chat, everybody? Anybody? Yes, please, let's click on the link and get on with the buying. I haven't seen it in the chat. I'm just waiting. Has anyone seen it? Has anyone seen it? Okay, so it's coming in now. Let's go. And if you have clicked on the link, just put in done, 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 done. I want to see that. We also have the Roving Heights link in the chat. Somebody says, let me check. Please, let's go. Let's do this very quickly before we bring... Ooh, thank you for greeting me, Amalola. Good to have you. Yes, I love the dawn. Please, let the dawn be making me happy. Like, I just saw 4 dawns on my face. Only 4 dawns. I want to see so many, 678 people here. Yes, I'm in Abuja and I love... Yes, yay! I'm happy again. If I had showed up at night, it would have been very much elevated. You know what I mean? So Samuel says, down, Jalapa down. Beautiful, good to see you, Oluseyi Abdullahi. Oh my gosh, the dawns are coming. Katrina! Is anybody clapping at? Are you not seeing the dawn in the chat? If you're not clapping now, wow. You must be joyful, be happy for us that our book is going global. That's what we're talking about, dawn again. Got to my, hey coach, see me. Please, Canada people should not win us. If you're in the UK, please tell me that when you write dawn, say UK. Canada cannot win. Please understand that. Yay, Chelsea from the UK. Please, nobody should put anything Canada in that chat. I beg. Rosalie, US, yay. We still want Canada, please go. But why are they now putting the flag too much? What is going on in this chat? Not America is winning, please. UK. Yes, because I'm in the UK. What can I say? Yes, and I have the mic. Hello. Olajimoke Don, beautiful. Hi, Simi, good to see you. I was talking about where is our baby? How is our baby behind? So cute. I love it. If you're happy, let me see your teeth. See, I'm shining my own. Let me see your teeth now. Don't be looking like that. Hey. Damilolo, this your teeth is a lot. It is where we toss. Okay, don't Nigeria. Samuel, your own is too much, I beg. Anyway, hi Rehema Issa. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Good to see you. Hello. I love the color of your lipstick. Okay, fab. I love it. You know, I can see everybody, so that's the wonderful part. Okay, done. Now I'm happy. Hey, my heart is coming down. That's wonderful. Any more dons in the UK? We are winning. We must win. But we still want other people, even in Canada, even Nigeria. Hey. Ellie, thank you so much for telling me that I'm doing well. If you don't tell me I'm doing well, how is it going to be? We will not leave here now. We keep you here. Done. Beautiful. Remember that as you're purchasing this, you're going to be in a book club. Let me tell you, there's so many perks to this thing. You have an opportunity to be in a book club where TFB will be coming in, once or twice or 3 times, you never know. And they're having a little chat with you and answer all your questions from the book. Isn't that amazing? A lot of freebies coming from this, our global something. Not for children. Nigeria must win. Okay, it's fine. Hey, good, fabulous. Now, if you are ready for the global reflections, before I bring them up, like we said, we're not joking here. It's a global something. If you're ready, let me see ready in the chat. Ready? Ready? Only one ready. Okay, let's sit here. Ooh, nice. Fabulous. Mobile, you're just calm. How many more people have you forwarded to? Eh? He's not even looking. Anyway, so ready everybody? That's fabulous. Thank you so much, Ali Angul. I see your smile from all the way from Namibia. Look at that. Okay, Tosi says ready since, yes, hello. Ready since 7 years ago. Fabulous. Okay. So we have three amazing, amazing friends of TFB. They are going to be sharing. I mean, they are not smiling. I don't know. Just give us a little smile, a little. Thank you very much. I like that. Good. Are you ready? Give me thumbs up if you are ready to come post it. Give me thumbs up. Tell me, Ade, give me thumbs up. Name thumbs up and thank you very much. Okay, so we have Lorena all the way from Argentina. We have Lara all the way from Jordan. We are not playing. And we have Rehema all the way from South Africa, guys. Let's take a moment and put our virtual claps together for them. First up on the list for the global reflections about the book, we're going to be having Lorena from Argentina. Over to you, please.
Okay, it's a pleasure to be here and sharing this day with you. I'm thinking it's a great day for Tara, but it's a best day for all of us. We are so lucky that she wanted to read, but I'm representative of Latin America, and also, even if the book is in English, we will do our best to have it in Spanish very soon. I think this book is amazing for many reasons, but imagine for those who really just start a business or are thinking about starting a business and entrepreneurship, and they have this idea from the very beginning, like build beyond yourself and all what it means and all the structure and how to do that, because Tara has been so generous to share the whole secret. It's like she shared with us the formula of Coca-Cola. So she shared the formula of how to build beyond you. So she's been so generous. And I think she could done that because, of course, she shares a lot of her vision and leadership, but not only in a business and professional way, but also in a personal and also in a spiritual way. If not, it's very difficult to think in this way of being beyond you. You have to be very humility. You have to have a lot of humility and acceptance of we are finite, and companies can be bigger than ourselves. And as Abiola told something about that, but I think it's when you think about building beyond you, is about creating an exponential business that can grow and be much more than you can deliver and taking into account your own limits, right? So I think it's so interesting to read what Tara remarks earlier today about the founder-led decision making is like a system, and all the exponential companies we have to build, taking that into account about system-led is key to understand that part. So go and read what she suggested, because it's very important to be able to create these new companies or grow companies with artificial intelligence, AI, because building, as she presented, is a way of taking care of herself and taking care of people around her. And she's been at home for a while, and we were supposed to enjoy and relax, but she couldn't do that in a way, because she was very focused on how to help her successor and people at her company to be more successful than herself. Okay, so and we've been sharing ideas and spending time together about that. So it's been an amazing journey for her, I know, and for all of us next to her to see how she started thinking about this and she created the company. There were a lot of stories that I didn't know, so it's amazing also the book to read all the secrets if you were missing something, and then of course how to start building a company from scratch, from zero, but with this concept and this system. So what I've been doing today before is buying the book for my friends all around Latin America and Spain and sending it to them because I already have it and I already read it. So, but I've been buying it for my friends and especially from entrepreneurs that I know they are very focused and committed, and they really will benefit from her book. And I hope you too, and that you keep on sharing stories and her learnings and how you apply the learnings in your own stories and your own businesses in the book group that has been mentioned. And I'm willing now to hear about my colleague Lara from Jordan and from my other colleague that I'm sure that they will add a lot of key points of how to read the book or enjoy it and get better company. So thank you so much for the space, Tara. All for you now, and Tara, I love you, and I'm very happy that for all your audience, especially. Thank you for letting me be part of this. It's a very special journey for me to being your friend and being next to you. Thank you, and thank you in the name of all the entrepreneurs in Latin America and Spanish speakers.
Hello from Jordan, and Lorena and Tara and all this beautiful community online and in the beautiful Nigeria. Hello, hello, hello. I'm sending you so much love, Tara, and congratulations on becoming an instant international bestseller author. And I'm so proud to know you from the very first day. I just wish I had more time with you to teach me how to put makeup. So hopefully next time I see you, we'll get that opportunity. To be honest, when I read the book, I felt that Tara gave me permission to follow my dreams even deeper, and because she was revealing hers with such candor, such generosity and grace. It spoke directly to my heart, mind and soul, but it's not just for entrepreneurs. And it can be for a woman sitting at home, struggling how to start her business, picking up herself again. It made me deeply reflect on where I am in my own business and what still needs to be done. It goes beyond Tara, as always. Tara, she models how everyone else can be without putting any pressure. I've known her for 16 years, and the book with its title, Building Beyond You, is exactly that. She offers practical exercises, real-time examples, and concrete advice that can be immediately put into action. So I literally would read a bit, and instead of thinking how I'm going to reflect on it, I would apply it. So she uses simple, accessible language that I could understand. She's very generous and transparent with her own roadmap to success. So it almost felt like she wanted to save us time by cutting straight to the essence of her most pivotal life lessons. For me personally, I advise everyone to buy it because when we met at a mentoring program, but not everyone has the privilege to meet a mentor. This book is a mentor. You don't meet anyone if you read this book. So it offers self-development opportunities to people that find themselves stuck between decisions. Okay, so my personal takeaways from Tara's journey revolves around her 5 key S's, the stem of success that lies within us. That was just amazing. And then like the essence of the role of structures, systems, and scalability and sustainability, trust me, I need all of those in my business today. Yes, Tara is fierce and unstoppable, I kid you not. And she has her faith and her country in her heart. I knew Nigeria because of Tara. She did it with intention and pride. Her family, her global and local network, I knew you all through her. And 2 things that I took home with me as a mother of 2, Faris and Maya, my beautiful children. When I met Tara, I didn't have children yet, but she, in the book, talks about structural barriers faced by young parents, especially moms, with young children and how she navigated them with courage and dedication and self-awareness. So if you're in that position now, you're sitting at home and feel, how am I going to go back to work? Read the book. Even if you've never been in a workforce, you can through this book. She shows her vulnerability. She's believable, relatable, significant. There's something you can connect with her through the book. And she talks about 3 things that are financial literacy, mental wellness, and self-care. Themes every single person, women, men, young people, elderly, everyone should prioritize. So she reminded me of my own priorities and where I should be standing. And finally, she talks about something that struck a deep chord with me. She reveals with so much grace the power of letting go, like recognizing the divine timing of moving on and the act of anchoring into one's awakening with courage, clarity, and alignment with our core values and our intuition. So she gives us a chance to look inwards, let's say. Like I actually felt she gave me permission to look inwards and to take a pause and say, okay, you know what? I am gonna look at my life and revisit everything. Thank you, Tara. So I literally read it for my friend, but the minute I started reading it, it's like, no, this is about me and where I am in my life. So I want to thank you, Tara, my sister, and tell you I love you. And I know that you're going to be traveling the world on a book tour. Please remember us, your friends from around the world, when you become supersonic, extrasonic famous. We love you, and I wish you all the best of luck to you and your beautiful family and the beautiful people of Nigeria. Thank you.
I guess it's my turn, right? Tara, beautiful Tara. I'm so glad you commented on my lipstick because you can't see it, but I don't go anywhere without my Tara lipstick, so clock it. All the way from South Africa. And also the face beat, Tara, clock it. So we talk, we walk the talk, we walk the talk, we walk the talk. I was challenged as to how to talk about the book because Tara actually mentioned chapter 6, which is the one that had an indelible mark on me. So I'm going to take a step back and move away from the book and go into the heart and soul of how you need to read this book. You need to read this book with a friend. You need to read this book with a confidant. You need to read this book with somebody you're willing to walk a life journey with in terms of interrogating. Tara writes a book that asks us to pause. The very first opening of the book, she reminds us that the past of an African entrepreneur doesn't begin with her. It begins with people who came before us. She laments that the history that has gone with them has disappeared. And that for me is such a pause moment and such an awakening for any entrepreneur today to sit and think about all the entrepreneurs that have come before, for whom we have either forgotten or whose journeys were never documented. I think as a woman in business and as an African woman in business, part of the journey that one has been able to walk has been about acknowledging and listening to narratives that speak about who we are, how we exist, and what drives us. 20, 30 years ago, when I first started business, the narrative about an African woman in business was talking about lifestyle entrepreneur, doing business simply because she had to. There wasn't a narrative about succession. There wasn't a narrative about growing an empire. There wasn't a narrative about all the other things that being in business actually opens you up to. Every single chapter is not just a reckoning with the personal journey that she's walked. It's a reckoning and a question to you as to what you are driving and delivering as legacy, what you are questioning about yourself as an African entrepreneur, what you're putting in effect, and importantly, what you're evidencing, not by what you are saying and how you are showing up in spaces, but how you are being. And so the chapter that resonates for me is really the one about people. It resonates for a number of reasons because I've had the opportunity of not just speaking to Tara as a businesswoman, but having the check-ins. That she would actually call on random days where you don't want to talk. And she brings it in, and the book is written in the same conscious, deliberate, intentional way that she's younger than me, but she feels like that warm, safe sister that allows us to walk into a space and to be vulnerable. the ability to have narrative that is written by an African woman that doesn't place us in the place of victim, but actually anchors that tenacity, that actually places with legitimacy the vulnerability, but allows us to language it with a way of sophistication that gives it normalcy, is, I think, the most beautiful talent that she's been able to evidence in this book. The collaboration that she's actually tapped into of all the different contributors, but also the thought leadership, makes me pause in each chapter and think, who? So the invitation to bring other people into reading this book is not just because of what she's written, but it allows us to step back and say, oh my goodness, two key conversations are coming up for me. What is the story that is currently being pervasive about African entrepreneurship? Who is telling it? But importantly also is, what does it actually take to lead? What is the face and voice and actually actions of African leadership today? What does that look like? And she's given it a blueprint. She's given it texture, she's given it tone, she's given it voice, she's given it vocabulary. So we are all able to sit here from around the world with a beautiful nuanced language around how it is framing what does it take to lead a business today? What does it require of us personally? What are the questions that we're willing to sit with, to resonate, to ruminate over, and to challenge ourselves to ask with vulnerability in the spaces that we occupy? But as we ask those questions, how do we allow ourselves to not just answer those questions, but to be truthful about what the answers show up? She brings in some of those vulnerabilities that us as business people don't want to talk about. Firing people is not easy, but also sitting with the discomfort of 360-degree reviews, where you get your answers from. So it's a book that requires you to not just read through it quickly and pass through the pages and say tick box like you're doing an MBA. It requires you to sit as an African leader predominantly, and it's relevant around the world. I frame it from my context of where it sits in relevance of leadership, narrative, conversations, and driving the agenda for what that looks like. In Southern Africa, we talk about Ubuntu. In East Africa, we talk about Utu, and that's about how we exist as people. This book frames what it means and what it looks like to sit as a people and to lead an organization through leading ourselves, being conscious of our flaws, our vulnerabilities, but also our excellence. It is a framing of a poetry of being in leadership that requires us not just to be quiet, but to actually speak up. And this edification of speaking up is put manifest in written works that can never be taken away. And that for me is an invitation. Tara's book is writing about her journey, but there's an invitation for everybody else to document theirs, to find safety in their written words, that it will find a home, and that the lessons learned are not singular, that they're actually lessons that we've all been learning. So the mothers that came before us, the stories, the entrepreneurs who have been walking this journey, who have disappeared without those words being written, are actually captured in the experiences that she's had. The role of mentorship and partners who have given her voice of wisdom and warm wisdom have been captured in a way that many of us as Africans have been able to relate to because we've been able to see it. But to have it in writing, that is precious gold, and that's what Tara has given us. Tara, I couldn't do much more justice to relating what the book is, but I hope I'm framing for those who are listening in the power of listening in, not just to what is written, but the essence of what it's telling us and how we should be listening in. So the masterclasses that have been before will tell you the blueprint of what to do, but it's a challenge, it's a clarion call, it's an invitation. And by placing that invitation, she's saying, I've done this, I've walked a journey. You can too. Thank you so much for that invitation. What a pleasure and an honor. Well done.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Very well articulated. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Lorena. Thank you, Lara. Thank you, Rehema. In fact, thank you to all the people from Argentina that are going to buy our book. Thank you to everyone from South Africa that are going to buy. Thank you everyone from Jordan. Fantastic reflections, global reflections to this, our amazing, amazing book, from the fact that it is a mentor on its own. Thank you for the simple way of writing the story, TFP. Thank you for making it global as well, because Rehema mentioned about how she could put it in her own context. Thank you for making everyone feel seen, for the mother of somebody who is already still raising maybe toddlers, just like Lara mentioned, and how she finds herself in the book and what she can do all of those wonderful reflections. Thank you so much, Lorena. Thank you, Lara. I think you once more, Rehema. And yes, moving very quickly and swiftly, because we're coming to wrap up. We have the amazing, amazing, fantastic global speaker in our midst. I'm sure some of us know, in fact, a lot of us, all the way from South Africa. We don't know where he is in the world at the moment, but yes, we have the amazing Coach Pussy. I've been privileged to be in the room where he is always speaking, and you will be inspired. To think that you wrote the outro of this book, you want to see here, get your pen and paper ready. But before that, I'm going to welcome and transfer and hand over to D. Olushola. Where are you? Take the set away.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back here. I'm excited. I don't know about you. Can you feel the buzz in the room already? Before we go to the next thing on the schedule, I need to start by also saying a huge thank you to everyone who has stayed with us from the beginning. It's been over an hour now, and I want to say thank you. So you can give yourselves a round of applause. It's a pleasure, a delight. And right about now, we're getting into one of the most exciting parts of today's conversation. I have with me a highly perspicacious, let me start with that, highly perspicacious, soul-piercing speaker and a pride of Africa, someone I revere so much, and someone I love to hear speak, and someone that I would say so boldly is putting the continent even further on the map of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and the only Vusi Thembekwayo. Hey Vusi, how you doing?
Sawubona, I didn't realize you were talking about me. I was hearing whoever you were talking about. But thank you for the kind words. I'll take it.
Thank you, Vusi. How are you doing today?
By God's grace, I'm having a fantastic day. It's a great day. I'm in Johannesburg at the moment, and it's a lovely rainy day out here in Joburg. I just came back from Accra. I was in Ghana for the past few days, and before that I was in Kenya, and before that I was in Conakry, Guinea. So it's good to be in Joburg for what will be a period of a few days, and then I'll be out again. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here, and to my sister Tara for the opportunity to be a part of this incredible gathering.
Incredible, Vusi. Thank you so much for joining us. And first and foremost, I want to say that it's a pleasure having you, but very importantly, you wrote the afterword of this book. And that means and says a lot. Now, that has your seal of approval, but most importantly, it means that you've gone through the entire pages of the book and you found it worthy. But before I get to the crux in that regard, I want to talk about your journey throughout Africa, right? You're as African as it gets. You breathe Africa, right? When I caught you, you literally bleed Africa. And so you go around the continent. You've been to all the different climes cut across sub-Saharan Africa. And I want you to tell me how hard, I'll put it that way, you think it is for entrepreneurs to start businesses in Africa and scale them to great heights.
It's harder than it will ever be, but easier than it's ever been. So, let me not be cryptic. So, I think it's important for African entrepreneurs to recognize the seasons we're in. There has never been a better time to be us. I'm not sure how many of us, if you spend the time and read the literature of our people, read the literature of our nations, of our tribes, I'm a history student, right? So I spend a lot of my time trying to understand how we got here. And in part, what I was doing when I was in Ghana is I went and visited the Kwame Nkrumah Museum and went into several historical sites. I did the same when I was in Trinidad, the same when I was in Tobago, the same when I was in the Bahamas, the same when I was in Jamaica, the same when I was in Barbados at the beginning of the year. I routinely try and travel the world and go to parts of the world where our people have had to live and where our people have had to live life. Because I think there's a big part of what's missing in who we are becoming, which is understanding who we were. And until we can connect those two lines, we're constantly going to be, in my estimation, under estimating our own capabilities. If you actually study the history of us as a people, you realize, excuse my language, we are fucking amazing. Like, we're actually like amazing. Like the axis on which the world's culture turns is us. We are the axis of culture. We're the axis of expression. And so, for whatever reason, that doesn't translate into the economic system. So, you know, I just spend a lot of my time trying to understand that because it's in my interest. I invest in startups and scale-ups and growth-stage businesses, and trying to understand the mindset that makes us who we are is why it's important. And so that's a big part of why it was so important. When Tara asked me to do this, one of the things that was difficult at the time was we were in the middle of a capital raise. And any of you here who've been in the middle of a capital raise, you know how deep and immersive that is. But then Tara first is Tara, so you can't say no. Let's just be clear. And every time I'm in Lagos, I try as much as I can to come over to the home and, you know, and have dinner with Tara and my brother Fela, etc. But so it's difficult to say no to Tara. But the truth of it is, once I picked it up, and if you're anything like me, and I imagine a lot of us in this conversation are, we're at that stage now where it takes a lot for something to mentally capture you and keep you. I think just because we're overstimulated, right? It's the internet, it's the phones, it's everything around us. But I picked it up and I just started reading, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I wrote a part of the afterward and sent it through to Tara, and I was like, this is where my thinking is. And there's some additional elements she hadn't sent in, and she sent those additional elements. And so I say all of that just to make the following point. One is, there is an important story that we have to tell about how we have found expression in this thing called business, how we found expression in this thing called economic enterprise. And nobody else is going to tell that story but us, right? So we have to find a way to narrative our own experiences. We have to find a way to center our own reality. You know that old expression about until the lions learn to have their own historians, the story of the hunt will continue to glorify the hunter. Well, the story about us, about our own economies, our own businesses, our own consumer markets, raising capital, building businesses, scaling, until we find a way to tell that story ourselves, that story is going to be about us, but it won't be for us. And it'll always be this like third-party view of people who arrive in our countries and our continents from other parts of the world and bring with them bags of capital and give us capital, usually denominated as aid, and then they'll tell us, you know, go and build these type of businesses. We have to find a way to say, hey, this is how it's done. So I think it was important for us from that perspective to have Tara's voice. The second thing, and you get a sense of it, certainly as you read the book, any of us here can, you know, today with artificial intelligence, stitch together a series of thoughts and put those thoughts into some sort of narrative of chapters and write a book. But what you can't do is you can't manufacture real experiences. And there is such depth to the real experiences of what Tara talks through. When she talks through and I remember her actually telling me this in a breakfast conversation we had. She was like, you know, there was a moment when there was, her products were being sold and there was illicit products. It wasn't her product. It wasn't her product. Now, it's easy to say, you know, go and raise capital, put together a pitch deck, but how do you deal with illicit goods? You're an entrepreneur, right? You don't run customs. You're not a police person. You're not in law enforcement. But suddenly, you're having to deal with the encroachment of illicit goods into a market on a brand that you built, a brand that you built with sweat and tears. And the consumer who buys that brand typically finds it difficult to distinguish between the authentic product and the illicit product. This is the reality of our context, how we build businesses, and how she handles them, the grace. Tara is like, Tara's dangerous in this sense, right? Like when her and I are WhatsApping, I'm never sure which version of her I'm talking to, and I think it's true to a lot of us in this conversation, because Tara can switch from grace to crocodile very quickly, and you just don't know which version of her you're dealing with. Like there is this welcome schizophrenia with Tara, where you're like, okay, so are you happy, or what am I dealing with? What's the story? But anyway, the point is, when you read through some of those experiences, you realize that she has this incredible ability to go pretty please, and then to go, but if you don't, there's going to be consequences. And she can weave through that. And I think that's a great grace, frankly. I think that's an anointing that she carries. But there are certain systems and principles she puts down in the book that a lot of us can learn through. I have to tell you this, then I'll hand back to you. I think for me, the most important element of those systems and principles that we can learn to, if I were to pull a single principle out of the book that I think is important about how Tara conducts herself, about how she's built her business, how she scaled it, but just how she does life, is community. Like, I don't know how she does it, but she just gets it. The fact that all of us are convened in this conversation across what must be 18 different time zones in different parts of the world, but all of us are here. Only Tara could put this together. Only Tara could put this together. Because this is not about, it's not about fame, it's not about like who, this is, people are here because they have a depth and a love and a regard for the person who's actually done the work and has actually done the project. And when you read the book, you realize similarly she's been able, I kept hearing the term collaboration, I think it's important, but she's not just been able to collaborate with people, she was able to turn the book into a community project, where it's not just what Tara thinks and what Tara's experiences are, but also her referencing and shadowing other people's experiences. And I think we're all richly blessed in a generally have. I don't think, this is why when you ask the question, how hard is this? I said, it's harder than it'll ever be, but it's the easiest it's ever been. And it's the easiest it's ever been because we have the stories of Tara that we can learn and reference through. And harder than it'll ever be because our job is to make it sure that it's easier for generations to come. Sorry, I waxed lyrical a bit too much there. Apologies.
Thank you so much, Vuzi. That was remarkable. I think when I think of Tara Fala-Durotoye's story, I think of the power of a vision, right? It was author of 1903 classic, James Allen, the book As a Man Thinketh. He says that it is impossible for you to travel within and stand still without. I think what we see today, with the book being an embodiment of this, and with our exit from still growing and still moving business, House of Tara, it all traces back to the power of a vision that one young woman had at roughly the age of 21. Now, I want you to unpack that a bit, but before you do, I want to put some context to it. I think it all began with the fact that someone said it is possible. And I think, to a given extent, we don't understand how powerful that is. Not only is someone saying it is possible, an African entrepreneur is saying it is possible. Now, not only is an African entrepreneur saying it is possible, an African female entrepreneur is saying it is possible, right? Now, I need to say this. I think for me, one of the things that makes her journey more intriguing is the fact that she was actually charting uncharted territory. If she had all the mirrors of possibilities in that industry, hitherto the time that she decided to take the step, then it could have been a little bit easier because there were roadmarks or footprints that she could have simply emulated, but different was the case for her. Now, I'm saying this because it's a global entrepreneurship launch, and I want to say that, and I want you to speak to the power of vision. What we're seeing and celebrating today is 28 years in the making. And I think one of the major hindrances for many Africans and young entrepreneurs that I've been in contact with globally is the fact that, first and foremost, we haven't given ourselves the permission to dream. And so, Vuzi, how powerful is vision to this?
When you read the book, one of the things that comes across, certainly it was the case for me. I mean, there is, how do I say this? There is a book within the book which talks to systems and structure and processes. These are the kind of the dogmatic management principles that you're taught are required and necessary for you to build anything of scale. Right. So as I heard you guys say this, clock that. Now let's set that aside. But insofar as your question about vision, the way in my reading of the book, one of the things that was kind of illuminated to me was it was almost as if, and I don't know anybody else who's had a similar experience, it's almost as if Tara's sights kept getting farther and farther, and the vision kept getting bigger and bigger over time, right? And I think that that's an important point for us to make, which is that your light can often shine only as far as your light knows to shine, right? In other words, we can only dream, we can only vision, often as far as what we know is possible. And so the power of not only this book, but also Tara's life and experience and what she's been able to do, is because she now allows us to have our lights shine deep, our lights shine further. She now allows us to have our vision literally cast. And it's important, especially for the younger people in the conversation, to understand this. It took me a long time in my leadership journey to understand this. So vision is not sight. These are very different things. And if you, in the context of the environment you operate in, what you see is what you see. And it's very, very difficult to operate in some of the context of the environment all of us here are in. I mean, if you land in Murtala Airport and you make that treacherous journey to Victoria Island, you know the highway that goes over the water, it's supposed to be 5 lanes, but it's 8 lane driving. Like the minute you are in that experience of Lagos and of Nigeria, you're just in the experience. There is nothing you're going to do that's going to take you out of that experience. You're experiencing it for what it is. But the vision has been her ability to see what was not yet there. So I want Tara to ask and to answer this, which is, what was it about her that made her think she can build for scale and exit a business when she didn't have examples of it? Just think about that. There were no examples of this. It's not as if there'd been generations of other people who built for scale, built for structure, and exited. This wasn't. It wasn't. Today we talk about scale. It's become a popular lingua franca for all of us in business. But those of us who operate in this environment know it wasn't even common cause 10 years ago. So what was happening in her mind that this is what she was thinking 20, 30 years ago? Is the question all of us here should be asking. In other words, how did she have the vision to see what our sight could not perceive? So I'm very careful not to center Tara's story as a female entrepreneur, although she is. I want to be understood here. I'm not saying she's not. But I'm very careful not to center her story as that, because often what happens, in particular when Black women of the African continent do amazing stuff, is they are referenced and revered as Black women, when the truth of it is they're just amazing, kick-ass people who are a global standard and can compete with anybody anywhere. They just happen to be Black, and they happen to be African, and they happen to be women. But if you put them next to their peers anywhere in the world, they will compete. And I think it's a narrative, whilst we should lean on, it's also a narrative we should be careful about. Because Tara needs to be, she's already bestseller on Amazon in Canada. And you know, when Clayton Christensen was writing books, people weren't going, oh, you know, what an amazing thing for a white man to be writing about innovation. You know, when John Cotter was doing it, they weren't referencing the demography as a function of success. We're just like, this is amazing. I think I'm challenging everybody to say, there are times when it's important for us to acknowledge where we come from, who we are, and far be it for me to say this is not that moment. All I'm saying is, if we see this achievement in that light, we will miss exactly what this achievement is about. This is global, it's international, it's world-class, it's precedent-setting, it's shape-shifting, it's generation-forming, it's narrative-informing, it's instructive, instructional, and inspiration for all of us. It would be that if Tara was a white male doing it, it just so happens she's an amazing Black kick-ass female from Africa who's done it and has done it from scratch and is inspirational for all of us. And so all of us need to stand in good stead and claim that and not apologize or find qualifiers for why she should be successful. And well, the book should do well. No. It does well because it's an amazing book. And the experiences are amazing. And you're not going to read them anywhere else. And there's something that you're going to learn. Whether you're going to be reading this from the business school in Ikoyi or you're going to be reading this from Massachusetts at MIT or Harvard, this is an incredible book. You need to read it and there's going to be stuff to learn.
Thank you so much, Vusi. Vusi, I need to say that I think one of the reasons Africa is the way it is, particularly its entrepreneurial ecosystem, is because I don't think the few successful ones share enough. And so here's exactly what I mean. I think that for you to multiply what's already working, the people who have had a taste of the semblance of success must take it upon themselves to ensure that they pay it forward. And the best way to pay it forward is through knowledge. through words we can shape lives, but until those words are documented, they cannot be immortalized and handed down to generations. And so, dear TFD, I need to say that for me, the most profound thing I'm celebrating today is the fact that not only did your journey prove successful, but you've decided to not just stop at yourself. You decided to not just stop with the numerous platforms that you get to speak on, right? Those words are good, but they could get lost in a podcast on YouTube. But there's something about the power of a book. Till today, I'm still a huge fan of the words of Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. Thank God for those words. But he's written many of those things in his meditations centuries ago. And it speaks to the power of a book. And I'm happy you're finally doing this. We've been expecting it for so long, but I'm happy. There's no better time than now. No better time. And I want to say a huge thank you to you for this. And I also want to say a huge thank you to Vusi for this. And so, Vusi.
Can I just say one last, I just want to say something very quickly.
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. I want to say something about what you just said, because it's something I said even in my own home country of South Africa, because it is true that there is, God give me the grace to say this right. There is this, for whatever reason, hoarding information of experiences, which hoarding of information and experiences holds hostage the next generation's ability to change things. In other cultures in the world, the generation presiding over that culture understands that it is its responsibility to document what works and what doesn't, and to teach what works and what doesn't, so that the next generation doesn't have to learn what they have already forgotten. In other words, it's a relay, right? They pass the baton on. In our experiences, what actually happens is, and a lot of us here who've started businesses know what I'm about to say is true, as you're starting, the generation that is further ahead of you looks at you and goes, we can't wait for you to have those failures so that you can experience the hurt and pain we've experienced, right? And as a consequence, we're constantly, all of us, starting from zero rather than starting from next. And so the writing and the documenting is important because it is the passing of the baton on, it's the giving of the information on to the next generation to say, you go now, you start from here, because this is what we've learned and here's what you need to do going forward. And it's an important part of what we must do. That's the one quick point I want to make, which is I'm heartened to say it's changing. It's actually changing. A big part of the reason why generations preceding us didn't write is because they didn't know. A lot of us are derivatives of generations that made money without the knowledge. They often made money because of their approximation to power and because of their approximation to the instruments of power and capital. And so they could make money.
Yeah.
For people like Tara, me, you, and several others, you didn't have that approximation to power, so you had to build from scratch, which meant you had to learn. And so we're now taking what we've learned and we're passing it on. And I think you'll see a lot more of this. There are a lot more coming out and actually teaching what they know. And the only thing all of us here should be intentional about, which for me I was intentional about, in 1% part in this incredible, was making sure that we see it as an opportunity to have the rising tides elevating all ships. That Tara's success doesn't mean my failure. That if she wins, all of us can win. And it's an important mindset, I think, that we need to sow across the continent. We can all win together. It doesn't have to be a zero-sum game.
Thank you so much, Vusi. That was succinctly put. The summary of that is Tara is passing the baton today. And thank you so much. Like I always say, when they say experience is the best teacher, it doesn't mean that it must be your own experience. You can definitely learn from that of other people. And so, Vusi, we have to bring this to a close. But before I get some final words from the one and the only author, I would like you, Vusi, to speak to the audience and tell them why they need to get the book. Why they should be getting the book. Why they should be clicking on all the possible links right away to get as many copies as possible on Amazon.
I mean, it's I think there are three reasons I would be just When you read a book here, to read lifetime of experiences. So what you're collapsing time, and I think that's an important concept. You're actually collapsing time. It took I had a 2 full day sitting. I just sat with it and I was like, hold on, I actually need to get through this. But I recognized that in that period, I collapsed 30 years of Tara's experiences into 2 full days. So you need to get the book because you want to collapse time. And time is what accelerates your own growth, right? I think that's an important part. The second part is you need to get the book because in my mind, far beyond it being inspirational, and I think inspiration is great, let's all feel good and do great stuff. It's instructional. It goes beyond how you should feel and it goes to what you should do. And long after you feel motivated and inspired, life is still life. And so the knowing what to do is often more important than feeling like you need to get it done. It's the instructional part for me that I lent on quite heavily. And then the third part, which is probably in my mind the most important part, is can we all just agree that Tara is amazing? Okay, so if you don't buy the book for any other reason, you buy it just because my sister Tara is incredible. She is consistent. She is amazing. She leads from the heart. She's clear on her purpose. She has uncompromising principles, and that's so rare in the modern day. It's so rare. It's so rare to have a Black woman who's just not just an amazing Black woman, but actually just an amazing human being, right? And who we have the opportunity to celebrate so publicly. And so I think you want to buy the book just as a stick it to the man to celebrate one of our own so publicly. That's what
Thank you.
Oh, and by the way, it's also because there are 3 pages in it that I wrote. So buy the book.
Thank you so much, Vusi. So to our worldwide audience, you've heard from the one and only Vusi Thembekwayo. Round of applause for Vusi. Thank you so much, Vusi. And as we wrap this up and bring this to a close, I would like to hear from the one and only author, Tara Fela-Durotoye, your final words to the audience and why they should be clicking right away.
Click, 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 because Vusi says you should click. And I want us to bring this to a close because it's 9 o'clock already and we committed to 2 hours. I just want to say I love you all. Thank you for showing up for me the way you did. I felt like today was my wedding day. It was my 50th birthday, the amazing messages from very early in the morning. It was like people were just waiting for today. I kept getting messages like, today is the day the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you, everyone. I felt the love. And I'm going to see the love more when I go to the back end of Amazon. I'm sure about that. Now, please join the book club. I can't wait to see you in the room. Let's take the conversation deeper. I see some of you want to have conversations over coffee. Let's go to the book club. So there's a link there. Join the book club. You can buy the book physically in Lagos from Latana Ventures. Just Google Latana Ventures in Victoria Island. If you want to get your book on Monday, get it from Latana Ventures. If you want to buy online, go to rovingheights.com. The link is there. If you are international, Canada, UK, United States, go to Amazon. And thank you, everyone, as we put this to an end. I love you all. Shout out to my children who are on the call. My 3 sons are on the call. My products. I call them my products.
Hello, everybody. While we wait for them to get back, please can we just, I can see all the congratulations in the chat. And I want to say a very big thank you to everyone for being here. I asked the question initially, if you have clicked on the link and you have bought the book, just click like, and some people did. 7 people. I was like, oh my gosh, we are now 382 on the score. We're over 600, almost 700. So please, yes, thank you for the done, Chioma. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations to the world-class TFD. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Please make sure you click on the link to join the book club. Like I said, TFD will be there once, twice, 3 times in that book club to share with you and to answer your questions from the book. We're so glad that you made the time to be here. Thank you to all our fantastic those that reflected on the book. Thank you, Vusi. Thank you to all the anchors that were here. Please continue to click on the link. And we're already global. We already know that. So please, let's keep it going. Share the link to your friends and get everyone celebrating the incredible and amazing TFD. Thank you for being here. Oh, I think, okay, they've muted their mics, so they're probably wrapping up in the room. Oh, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Bello, for thanking me. I hope you had a good time. Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Fisayo. Good to see you. Oh, thank you, Lorena. Thanks, everyone, for the thank you. And a very, very big thank you to Michael. Okay, I think we're
thank you, IJ. I see my friends from Kigali as well. Michaela, I see you. Zoe, I see you. I love you all. My friends from South Africa, yay! Sheila from Rwanda, Kigali. Thank you very, very much. I see my friends from South Africa and I see my friends from Namibia. Ali, big hugs. It's wonderful to see you on the screen. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Samira. Thank you very, very much. I'm full.
Thank you.
I feel very full.
Thank you so much.
I think I've eaten Eba today. I feel like I've eaten Eba. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm going to take this all in. IJ? Okay. I have some special guests here. I have some little kids here who came. Ooh. They even came with gifts. Oh. Am I not special? These are my special guests of honor.
But we can't see your face, ma. We're not seeing you.
Oh, somebody even brought a nice gift for me. Oh.
Please, we want to see. Those of us are in the virtual, whatever. We want to see these people. Thank you, thank you, thank you again, everybody. Keep joining the link. Yes. Oh, yeah, we can see you now. Yay! Fantastic. Let's come again. Fabulous. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful, maybe afternoon for some people, evening for some, night, I'm sure, for some of us in the UK and Nigeria. Thank you, Isimeme White. You've been here since. Thank you for all that you've done. We appreciate it. I love your glasses. Yes. Thank you, Claire.
Wonderful to see Dr. Claire Omashe. Yeah. It's wonderful to see you. Can you see me giving you hugs? I can't see Mrs. Okonjo.
She's been here.
I know, but I can't see her. I wanted to give her a big virtual hug. Where? Oh, I'm looking in the wrong place. Can you guys see me?
We can see you.
We're close though.
So we can see
but just kissing.